Bats are back at the Oval, our second homes, and we speak a lot during the off-season. I know how much work, you're not going to go on about it, but I will go on about it. So much work, and I don't think people understand just how much work, detailed work, individual work, teams work. The players are all around the world, but you're still having to kind of monitor and keep on top of them and keep communicating, and everybody's got, different aims and goals. Everybody's playing in different leagues. I mean, it's crazy, right? And now we're back, and the team are back, and now all that hard work we're about to see, whether it's going to pay off for what could be another, because we said this last season and the season before, another historic and successful season for Surrey.
Yeah, the winter's bizarrely a very exciting time for the staff that remain in this country and the players that remain, because they get absolute, time to spend with and working on themselves when there's far less bodies around. So actually we have 2 or 3 young players that I'm saying watch out. These guys have done some serious work this winter, and they're not just coming to be part of the superstars that have been playing the franchise stuff or the England stuff. They want to be the next cab off the rank. They want to be that next thing. So I think it's more the fact that everybody's coming back together now. There's a few senior players coming back, and they see some youngsters and they go, wow, what's he done? And then you see some youngsters that go, wow, what's he done? It's kind of that energy-filled time of year when everybody comes back to the place where it all started and where it all begins again. I would be very worried if we're not excited this time of year because of the energy brought to the room, whether it be a senior player or a youngster. And then it unravels as the season goes off. But for this first month, where most people are around, there's a few IPL boys away and a couple PSL, but it's really exciting and it's really nice. It's what Surrey's about, and it's circling the wagons and looking after our own and trying to move forward on what will be our next exciting journey.
Do you and the guys and the girls like having a target on you? I mean, you like being number one at the front of the, or at the top of the pack, front of the pack, or top of the table. It seems like that's something, you feel very comfortable with. And actually, if it wasn't like that, you wouldn't like it.
Yes and no. I think if you want to play for Surrey, you better get used to it, because we are the envy of 17 other counties, or certainly up until recent history, where maybe the 100 sell-off might have changed some perspectives from other counties, where there's a boatload of money just being injected into their system. But we're still ahead, so we've got to keep ahead. We've got to keep forging to be that next little nugget of information to drive the next player, to drive us on again, to drive the team, to drive the club. So I think when you sign for Surrey, when you become an employee of Surrey, it should almost be part of the contract. We expect to be jumping for number one and striving for number one. We might not always be number one, but that is always our goal. So I think the target bit just comes as it's just part and parcel of the job. We like the people saying it's us that they're chasing down, because it means we're doing something right. But we will not sit on our laurels and just take that as, oh, that's nice. No. Well, now you're going to have to chase us down from 10 yards further on, because we've moved forward.
You mentioned the 100 and the cash injection that's suddenly we're about to go into the game. It may actually lead to a position where counties have got more money to spend on players. I know that there are rules in and around wage caps and all that kind of thing, but it could actually make the county championship stronger. And looking at this year's challenge for Surrey, from my perspective at least, Essex look good, Hampshire look good, I think Durham will be better. Yorkshire have made some pretty good signings as well. So I know that you're focused on what Surrey do, but do you feel this could actually be as competitive a season as you've had since you took over here?
I think it's the most exciting season because it's the one in front of us. All the rest are in the rearview mirror. I think it's exciting for the game that things are changing, done properly, and structures in place, done for the better. We started 22 when I first took over. You looked around 4 or 5 teams and you went, wow, they're a strong team. Mm-hmm. It's no different every year, but can you sustain it throughout the season? Our job is to still be being as energetic, as effective, as precise as we are on the 4th of April, on the 4th of September. That's been our point of difference. We've been very good in instances, in isolation throughout games, yes, but we're over a season. And that is our point of difference at the minute. We're trying to do it fractionally different. We don't want people catching us. So inevitably, at some point, it will happen, but we want to keep that distance between as long as possible. And it's really exciting that there's some other clubs who feel like, we want, great, that's sport. We want chase us down. Come on, let's have a real joust. Let's have some real fun playing the game that we love, and see who comes out on top.
Tom Curran's just messaged me. Actually, said don't forget Somerset. Kookaburra ball.
Yes.
Surrey's record actually hasn't been as strong in Kookaburra games as it has been with the Duke. So are we going to see any changes in approach or personnel or tactics when Surrey come up using that ball?
Yeah, we've done lots more practice with a Kookaburra ball. You can see over our shoulder here in the marquee, there's 3 or 4 very distressed surfaces, trying to create that last day surface that reacts differently from a Kookaburra ball than it does a Duke's ball when it's spinning. It's the turgid nature of what the Kookaburra ball brings a little bit, which has been an Achilles heel for us. We needed to do some work on more excessive spin. Sorry, I don't like that word excessive. If the ball spins, it shouldn't be a problem. It's a good thing.
Yeah, of all the people.
It's a good thing. No, I don't mean that. I mean just more than normal.
Yeah.
We've been a rabbit in a headlight at times. Not from that we can't deal with it, but whether we've got the courage to deal with it. And you can take that however you want as an individual or whoever's listening. I think we're getting better, I really do. And we made some great strides last year. But it's our job. If we get over the line in, say, one of those games, all of a sudden there's a 45-point difference. So that's got to be our point of difference. It's got to be our aim to improve in that. If nothing else, because it's been brought in, and it's a challenge. We're not perfect in Duke's ball cricket, but we're a pretty good outfit. We're not anywhere near as good in Kookaburra performance, so we've got to work at it. We've got to be that team that actually goes, come on, then we'll take you on with any ball.
India are visiting here, June and July. They'll be playing the final test at the Oval. And I imagine there'll be some stories about some Indians who want to get a little bit of, red ball cricket under their belt before that series. I mean, the IPL obviously takes precedence with a lot of them, but I mean, for all of the Indian cricket fans out there, and indeed all cricket fans, do you think there's any chance whatsoever we might see somebody rock up for a game or two?
There's definitely a chance. I've already had a couple of messages from Kumar Sangakkara with a couple of players want to come and play. In fact, I've had that for the last 2 years. It's amazing how many players want to come and play county cricket. The domestic structure, which within our own system we don't always say nice things about, but around the world it's the envy of, it's the jewel in the crown to create the best international team. With India coming into town, I think they're the best international setup. They're producing players to play all formats, not pigeonhole, not looking for shortcuts. It's the real deal, and it fills me with excitement to see the game being pushed forward by the powerhouse. I think England can challenge them, absolutely. But will we see one of those players before that comes? There's a bit of me that has the England hat on that says, I don't want to give them an edge. But there's also the Surrey hat that says, I want to win everything. And if these people that potentially might want to come and play, we will have the conversation, absolutely.
Lastly, it's a question that is going to be asked a lot this summer, I imagine, but I know chatting to one of the Surrey players a couple of days ago, he was firm in his belief, England have got to select Dan Worrell. I'm not going to ask you that question, but it would take a big man to walk out there in Perth or in Brisbane or anywhere in Australia with that new ball in hand in front of a packed and raucous crowd. You've played with Dan for a long time. If that call came, has he got what it takes? We know he's got the skills, but does he have the game? Does he have the abilities to go and do that?
Absolutely. It's all down to the individual whether you want to take that on. From a club perspective, we say to every single player, go fly, my friend. If international comes calling, you've got nothing but our backing. He's done so much for us, not just on the field. Everybody will look at the on-field stuff, but what he does for us in training, in the changing room, we've got whatever he needs from us. He's got it for the rest of his life. He's a smashing fella. He's got a wonderful family. Let's hope he gets an opportunity to fly.